Welcome back to Players Only Worldwide, everybody. We got a special guest in the house. Let the people know who you are.
Czar Nicholas, you know,
Okay, okay. Let the people know where you're from.
I'm from Norfolk, Virginia.
Okay, how'd you get your start in music?
So I've always been doing music, man. My dad was a rapper, so I grew up in it.
Okay, what's your rap? What's your dad's rap name?
Man, Omegatron.
Okay, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I just want to see if it was anybody we was familiar with or anything like that.
Nah, y'all not gonna know that guy.
So, what drew you to G-Funk music?
Um, so I pretty much always listened to it, you know. That's what I kind of gravitated towards. I really first started listening to it when San Andreas came out, so I guess like in 2004. Um, but so I would just always listen to that. It wasn't until I got like later on, probably say like 2018, that I started making it. Because before I started making G-Funk, I was trying to make what was popular, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, I should try to make G-Funk because that's what I listen to. So I know I could do it. But it just took me a while to get out of trying to sound like everybody else and be myself.
Well, I feel it. So, who would you say are the artists you listen to the most?
Um, well, I listen to everything, so it's kind of hard to say. I really don't even listen to rap for real. I mostly listen to like R&B, you know, like regular funk, like Rick James, um, you know, like Motown type,
Mhm.
like dramatics, that type of stuff. Uh,
Are you deep into the history of funk?
yeah, man, I all the all the funk classics, the of course James Brown. Everybody sampled James Brown. Can't really listen to nothing without listening to that.
Mhm.
And from there, it kind of just trickles down, man. You got your Bootsy Collins with your James Brown connection.
Mhm.
From there, it's like everybody can shake each other hand and you can trace it back to somebody else. So
Yeah, facts.
yeah.
So who has Norfolk influenced your sound?
Ugh. I really can't say anybody. I mean, so Norfolk and Virginia Beach is kind of like maybe you don't even have to go far. It's like maybe 10 minutes apart.
Mm.
So I guess you would say from this area, it would probably be like Pharrell, Timbaland, because I am a big Aaliyah fan. So I grew up listening to Aaliyah. Um, so Aaliyah, Static Major, they aren't from here, but the producer is, Missy Elliott, that type of thing. So
I know what
I would probably say those three, Missy Elliott, Pharrell, and Timbaland, are the most prominent in the area. So uh, a lot of the a lot of the sounds I was like experimenting with between starting to make G-Funk, like right before I came out with that first G-Funk album I did, I was leaning towards making that like Neptunes type
you.
sound, but it just did not fit with me that well.
Okay, okay. So what's your process like when you make G-Funk music?
So really, I mean, I don't really have much of a process. I just I hear a beat that I like and I write to it. Um, a lot of times I just be in the crib, like just geeking out over a beat. And if I know, like if a beat is wild enough to make me like really get up and start like fizzing to it, then I start writing to it. Now, a lot of times I don't know, like I've been making a lot of music with Joe Fresco. So I don't really pick a lot of my beats anymore. He just sends me like beats every day, and I just pick through them and figure out which one I like, which one I don't like.
Okay, okay. With G-Funk being a older genre, with it originating in like the 90s and whatnot, how do you keep it fresh and original?
So that's actually very easy to do because all you have to do is just talk about things that happen now. Um, Really just keep the topics current. It's some topics that won't ever go out of style, no matter what time it is. But you also gotta know like which words to use, like which slang to use. Um, and then you just gotta be like smart about picking your topics, I guess. A lot of times, you could have beats that weren't like really good in the current time, but as long as you can, I guess, I guess spit whatever game you got, you can make it sound current. It just depends on how you do it. Certain producers can do both too. They can make like a G-Funk beat, but also make it sound like current. It just kind of it's a fine line because you got some that because it's really hard to find G-Funk beats anyway. So you got to find like we are like a tight knit community when it comes to producers and rappers. So everybody that makes the G Funk beats or makes the mob music beats, they all kind of know each other. So it's like, you know, nobody wants to be like left behind. So I guess you'll do what you got to do to keep up.
Do you feel like G-Funk got the recognition it deserves?
Absolutely, because soon as somebody plays one of my songs, they automatically know what that sound is. So it's not like something that's, you know, underground more so. It's like because after 1992, maybe I would say it was more so mainstream because you got to think Snoop Dogg is probably one of the most well-known rappers in the whole world. You can go to Bangladesh, you can go to Zimbabwe, they're gonna know who Snoop Dogg is. And from the time he came out to I would say at least 1999, it was just G-Funk music. So you can't know him without knowing that. That's how I look at it.
A sidebar, have you reached out to Snoop?
I have not reached out to Snoop.
You should. Death Row over there signing new artists, and I'm sure he would love to hear some new G-Funk shit.
Yeah, I mean, I used to be like really pressed about reaching out to artists, um, like trying to get deals and stuff like that. Once I kind of realized that I can do this stuff myself, I really stopped like trying to put myself in front of these people inorganically. I rather it just happen on its own. Um, and I mean, I have connections to artists that have connections to him, so it's not like I couldn't get it there. I just don't want to come to somebody, as a complete unknown. I want my name to circulate. That way I can approach with some kind of leverage more so than just getting the short end of a stick.
Mhm. So what's been the biggest challenge in your career so far?
Well, mostly just getting my name out there. That's always the hardest thing for anybody, I would say. I don't think we're really in that viral era anymore where you can just make a dumb song and expect for it to like blow up everywhere. You might have some here and there that can do that, but it's not like a common thing like it was back when SoundCloud was the top of the totem pole as far as music discovery. So yeah, I mean, and then you got to think it's like it's a new rapper making a new song every day, and it's like what can you do to kind of make yourself stand out in a sea of the same thing? So that's always the hardest thing, and I'm sure that goes for anybody.
Do you ever run into anybody who doesn't like G-Funk?
Yeah. I mean, well, actually, I can't even say I can't say that because every time that I go, I would say my area doesn't make like nobody in my area makes what I make.
Mm.
Hardly anybody that's out makes what I make. So it's kind of like a it's like an acquired taste in this current era. It's mostly like drill, mostly like trap and all that, and that's what everybody around me grew up doing, listening to, and all that. So it's like, that's what people gravitate towards more so. But what I can tell you is that when I perform or when I'm out and about, it's like everything usually just stops when I start
Mm.
because it's something that is so like out of the ordinary that when people hear it, I've never heard anybody come up to me and say, "Man, you got to stop doing that G-funk stuff, or you got to stop doing that West Coast stuff."
Mm.
Like everybody is always like super geeked about it. So I don't know. I think I found my lane, and everybody. I mean, even though they don't, because you can't expect somebody every day they riding down the street, they listening to Ice Cube, they listening to E40, they listening to this and that, But that kind of benefits me though, because when they finally do hear me, they like, oh man, that brought back so many memories.
Mm.
So, it works out in my favor.
What's your most memorable moment from rap so far?
Oh man, I got a couple, I guess. I did a sold out show with my group at Elevation 27. That's a venue in Virginia Beach. Other than that, I mean, most recently, I got kind of a more so like an indirect line to Black Sea from RBL Posse through Joe Fresco. So, I mean, hopefully, I can get my next album. Well, I mean, it's already in the works, but hopefully, I can get Black Sea to present that, and I can get that deal going there. But I mean, other than that, I got like a lot of opportunities for deals and stuff like that. I mean. I've never really been the type to like broadcast that type of thing though, because I want to make sure that I can keep my options open.
Mm. So how'd you link up with Joe Fresco?
Um, to be honest with you, I don't even remember. I just know I think one time I had like boosted one of my posts and he had followed me. I followed him back. I guess we just started talking, through the DM or whatever. And we started sending each other features. Or after a while, it started being one song, two songs. I think now we're at like probably, I mean, we're at probably like 30, 40, 50 songs together. So,
Okay.
I mean, after a while, it just started to be like a natural, cohesive thing where we just work well together.
How do you hook up with fans outside of Virginia?
Say that one more time.
How do you hook up with fans outside of Virginia?
So the way that I've been doing it is I just been using the Facebook ad tools. I mean, that's really the way that I've been getting my following up. Um, you know, but also it goes hand in hand with the content too. Like when I started doing the reels, I mean, I'm sure you've seen them,
Yeah.
like the freestyle videos. When I started doing those, it kind of took me to a new level as far as reaching people.
So would you say, like, if you had to choose one, which one would you say is more vital to your career so far? Ads or the content?
Well, they go hand in hand because I wouldn't be doing ads without doing that content. So, um, at first, what I used to do was, I mean, and you can go through my page and see, like, I was doing, like freestyle videos in my room, kind of like this with the background and all that. And I would boost them, but
getting the same kind of attention that I get now with the type of content that I post. So I think it's like it's a lot of factors. It's production quality, it's you know the the sound quality, it's doing more so like music video type content as opposed to just rapping in front of a mic or in front of a camera. So I think all of that together kind of works in sort of like a Ouroboros kind of format where you can't have the chicken without the egg, you know?
Facts. So, how would you describe the music scene in Norfolk?
It's terrible, if I
Mm.
gotta be honest. I mean, and then it's like, and it makes me not even want to go perform anymore because it's like every time I go, it's like I hear the same rapper back to back to back to back doing the same thing, saying the same things. The topic is the same, everything is the same. And then you know, and it's more so like, and I'm sure it's like this in every city, but it's more so like popularity contest type thing where my fan base is not here. My fan base is on the whole other side of the country. So when I pull up to my shows out here, it's like, yeah, I can get everybody to become a fan, throughout the show. But it's when I get there, it's no type of like they already picked their favorites before I get there. So it's like I gotta basically make them want me as opposed to them already knowing that when I get there that is going what it's gonna be. So I mean the music scene out here has always been like a popularity contest though. But that's everywhere, I think.
Okay, is there any Norfolk artists that do inspire you or that you do like?
Well, so I mean I got my boys um that I make music with from here that I've always liked as artists, even when but these are like guys that I got some guys I grew up with, some guys I met along the way doing shows that I really believe in as far as music goes. Some guys had to move away because that's really the best way to get out of the trap of thinking that you have to be successful here. But it just depends, man. There's a few artists that I can name, but some of them aren't even from here. Like my guy, he used to go by Dago Red, but he goes by Munchie now. He's from San Diego. And I mean, as soon as we met at the first show we did together, it was like automatic, like, hey, we gotta work. Um, Same thing with my man Swisher Sweet Pea. Met him at a show, like, hey, we gotta work. My guy Too Young, we met at a show. We got to work. And then I got two of my homeboys. Want to make sure I don't give you their name, give you their artist name. D Stunner and King Pharaoh. They used to live here. They moved to Nashville, but they do good work. So it's a lot of artists that are my contemporaries. I can't say like anybody that I was growing up looking up to from out here. I can't really say that, but over the years, people that I met that I do like as far as music goes.
Okay, what's your opinion on artists moving out of their hometowns?
I mean, I think it's not a bad way to do it. I mean, I think that there are alternatives. You can because I mean, in this current age, with your phone, you can connect with anybody across the planet, basically. So it's never a point where where you are dictates how successful you can be. That's like passe now. I think more so getting into areas where you can like rub shoulders with more prominent people might be more beneficial depending on what you want to do. But then it's like when you get in those areas, like your LAs and your New Yorks, it's like, what do you got to do to do what you want to do at that point. You got to go to a Diddy party. You got to, you know, what you got to do. So I don't know. It just depends on like how you look at it. I think that I have reached more people than I would have probably reached had I just moved somewhere, because I mean, I travel too. Like I just got back from Charlotte. I just got back from Vegas the week before that. I used to go to Atlanta a lot, but it's like I get to these other cities and it's like, okay, well, what am I going to do here that's different from what I'm already doing at home? It's like the only thing I can really do different is perform in front of different people. But I could have put out an ad in that area and it would have showed them same people the same thing I would have performed without even me having to buy a plane ticket. So it just depends on how you look at it.
So, do you have any new projects coming out soon?
I do. I got an album coming out. I don't know when. I'm working on that now. I got Joe Fresco kind of executive producing that for me. Um, I have another album. Well, it's not my album, but it's it's like a it's kind of like a compilation with me, Joe Fresco, and Shang. And then mostly a lot of my stuff is with Joe Fresco at this point. Um, he has his album coming out, which I'm on a lot. But I mean, the way I look at it, I've always more so been more eager to do features at this point because I have like 7 albums out right now. So I'm not hurting for like catalog. So anything new that's coming out is more so just extra on top of what I already have out. I got like a back catalog that goes all the way back to 2017. Before that, I was putting music out on Dat Piff before they closed that down. So I've been doing this for a long time, man. The way I look at it is, I mean, after a while, how many raps am I gonna need to put out? So I do features, more so now than anything. I get a lot of artists hitting me up like, hey, let me get a verse, let me get a verse, let me get a verse. And that's really how I've been planting my flag. Um
How does an
I
artist go
got
about
to
this from it?
yeah, I got to, do songs with like Anthony Danza, and I got I got other artists, of notoriety that I've been able to touch just from rapping. Like nothing, no extra additives, nothing to it, just rapping. They like the way I rap, and that's how I get there.
How does somebody get a verse from it?
Well, I mean, they just got to hit me up, man. I never really been like stingy with verses. It's just with the influx of how many people that have been hitting me up for verses lately, it's been kind of hard to get back to everybody. So what I say is if you want a verse, and one thing about the people that have gotten verses from me and like they know, you're gonna get a quick turnaround. I mean, in some instances, I'm giving it back to you within the next hour. So, I mean, what I say is if you want your verse back immediately, you're gonna have to shoot me some paper, man, some Fetty. I'm gonna need it because I got so many songs in my email right now, backlog that I just haven't been able to get to, whether it's because I've been traveling or I've been, working on my own stuff, working on stuff with Joe, working on projects with Danza. It's just hard to keep track of everything. So when that Cash App hit, I know that I see the artist name, the song, and I say, okay, so this is a priority. I got to get to that. So that's just how it works. That's how the business goes for everybody.
What's your dream collab?
Dream collab. Oh man, I don't know, man. It's hard to say because there's so many people that I like. I would probably say because at first it was always George Clinton, but I kind of want a verse from Sugar Free.
Okay. I'm mad at
I
that.
would say like in total, complete from start to finish, beat by DJ Quick, verse from Sugar Free, and I'm satisfied with that. Yeah.
Okay. So before you go, if you could give any advice to any independent artists out here, what would it be?
So my best advice would be to be yourself. Don't try to chase waterfalls. Because you can really set yourself back. Like I know me, if I had, just been who I was from the beginning, I probably would have been further along than I am right now. Then the next one would be to just make good content and promote that content. And that's really the code because really in this game, slow and steady wins the race. Everybody that tries to chase that viral fame, they always crash and burn.
Do that. All right. Let the people know where they can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram. That's where I'm at all the time at Czar Nicholas underscore. That's CZARNICHOLAS underscore. The C is silent for the people that don't know. Um, yeah, that's where you can get at me at. I'm always available, man. I'm not one of those dudes that, you sitting in my message request for 3 years. Like you can always get at me. So, you know.
All right, bet. Well, that was another episode of Players Only Worldwide.